The Day of the Dead is a very ancient celebration that honors the deceased and the passage from life to death. Este festejo es un reencuentro con nuestros difuntos. This is our tradition. La Virgen de Guadalupe reigns over the ofrenda. Our lives are precious and as brief as flowers. Cempasúchil. We use its petals, color, and scents to guide our loved ones home. We offer them water on their journey, use salt to purify their spirit, and greet them with their favorite food and drink. We place their decorated sugar skull on the altar to remind us of how sweet life is in spite of death. Perfumed smoke rises to the skies and carries our prayers. The images of our loved ones remind us of their physical form. Esta es nuestra tradición.
Good evening and welcome to Dia de los Muertos at Hemisphere. I am Ernie Zuniga.
And I'm Sarah Acosta. What a beautiful way to kick off the festivities with that performance by Guadalupe Dance Company, really explaining Dia de los Muertos and how the holiday and ofrenda works.
Indeed, the first of many tributes to honor our ancestors and also to prepare a path for them to be with us again.
This is a 3-day festival full of food, culture, and music.
Yeah.
And our very own Jen Tobias Struski, she is out and about taking a closer look on how this all comes together.
Ernie and Sarah, I'm so excited to be part of the celebrations tonight. And one of my favorite parts is the shopping as well. So many unique vendors, like my friend Christina here. I had to ask you, because you've been part of this for so many years, what is your favorite part of Muertos Fest?
I mean, I've been a repeat vendor since the very beginning, and it's always so great seeing customers year after year, seeing people discover small businesses for the first time, or also being just the ones that support us all through the year.
Yes.
So it's definitely the market, but I always say that the heart of Muertos Fest is the altares, the ofrendas, the community altar. So I feel like that's what brings us all here.
Speaking of honoring legacies, there's one specific one we'd like to show you, Lisa's legacy.
My mother was everything to me. We started as mother and daughter, but we became best friends over the years. Whether it was shopping or going to an art gallery or making art, she was full of life. In 2021, my mom was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis, which is a very rare lung disease. And it was during the time of, COVID, so we didn't really know where it came from. She was a very healthy person. She was walking every day, lifting her grandbabies. And so this kind of came out of nowhere, which was really hard for us. There was a 3 to 5 year prognosis, but my mom didn't let that stop her, not even for a minute. My mom showed everyone that you can have quality of life despite any diagnosis. As she progressed with this disease, she required supplemental oxygen. And she would tell little kids, "This is my superpower. This helps me get where I need to go." And she made the best out of the worst situation. And it just inspired me so greatly. I think she was a magnet for children.
Lisa had a long social work career before I ever met her, but I got to know some of the things she was involved in directly. So she helped with Families Helping Families, which was a parish-wide organization for peer help. She also helped with grants for the Whitney Plantation, which was the first plantation to really show the history of slavery, so she was involved with that. She was involved with juvenile justice. She actually helped start CASA in Michigan, and she worked with CASA in Louisiana, where I was. After Hurricane Katrina, Lisa was one of the first ones helping us figure out how to work in the shelters and going into the shelters to bring children's programs. It wasn't so much, I have a passion for kids, or I have a passion for art, or I have a passion for social work. It was that she brought passion to everything she did. So it wasn't this thing, she just brought that everywhere she went. It was as plain as the red lipstick on her face. Yeah, when you meet someone that's as broadly impactful as Lisa is, it can really inspire you.
I am so excited to honor her through an altar at this festival because she went to it every year she lived in San Antonio. She lived at the 68 at Hemisphere Park. The first time she went to it, she was just blown away. She could feel the spirits. She could feel the energy. And she would even say, oh, I hope you do this for me. And I said, absolutely, Mom. I would love to do that for you, but no time soon. So it means the absolute world to me to be able to do this. And I feel like it's an art show for her. It's like we're getting to celebrate everything she was as a social worker, as an artist, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a friend. I'm researching culturally what to include. I'm learning foods and salts and water, and so I have a special cup for her.
I brought a few things from home that represented Lisa to me. It's like a little wooden frog. You go back and forth and it makes that sound. When Lisa and I would go on walks together, it's just almost deafening at night, the frog sound in Louisiana. And another reason was when she was in the hospital a few weeks before she died, she asked me to come and bring some breathwork music. She wanted to feel the breathwork music, even though she couldn't take the deep breath. So I brought some drums to the hospital. And so the frog reminds me of that percussion connection. So I made her a little playlist on Spotify of she wanted drumming and chanting and bells. And she listened to it all night at the hospital. And she texted me the next morning. She said, I was dancing in the spirit world with the drumming and the bells. And I could imagine being able to go on. I could imagine dancing on into the spirit world.
This has been one of the most healing things since my mom has passed away. And I feel her presence with me. I feel her when I'm making these decisions on what to include, what pictures to blow up and enhance and frame. I really feel her when I'm writing about her. So I hope what stands out to people when they go past her altar is the warmth she had. She was nurturing, she was loving. So I hope that people look at her art and they see a lot of flavor and culture, and I hope they see her social work books and see, her passion for helping people.
Lisa passed just 3 months ago, and this is Erica's first time building an altar. And even though her family is new to the holiday, she says they already feel that deep connection that so many altar builders know so well.
Indeed. So this next duo didn't just find comfort and closure through the process. They discovered how to reimagine the altar, going beyond tradition to create something personal and meaningful.
It's beautiful for people to start understanding what a holiday like this could mean. Dios de los Muertos is light, it's celebration, it's beautiful. It opened up a lot of opportunity for healing. Last year's altar was this beautiful concept, but I was still very much dealing with what my counselor has come to call it compounding grief. We'd all been on this really long journey together, my dad's side of the family. We lost my grandmother, the matriarch, at the top of the altar here. 6 months later, my dad. Then we lost my aunt and my uncle within the same year. So that was 4 significant losses in that one family line. Last year's altar was really helped me reconcile with it all.
When Marcy and I finished, we just stepped back and we were both like, oh my God, we did this. And it was an amazing feeling. And it was just, I can't even begin to explain it.
We love taking an artistic point of view on these altars, taking the traditional concept of an altar and amplifying it to an extent.
The table really came because whenever I do Christmas, Thanksgiving, I always put a picture of the relatives like in a little corner to say that they're welcome to my buffet, if you want to call it, or my feast.
And I really liked the idea of personalizing the place settings and welcoming them back for a final meal together. Because of the specific place settings, it really forces us to dive into really deep specifics, like how do I tell this person's story?
Like my grandmother's from Peru, so I have purple corn, I have papalawang gallina. She loved to cook that when I was younger. My other grandmother that was born here loved, mole. She loved cashews. For her was like buying caviar. My father loves squid ink pasta.
A lot of my family loves ice cream, so I had to make sure to have like ice cream there.
You include food in everything, traditional or non-traditional. You have the pan de muerto, you have the conchas. Food is a part of any holiday, and especially meaningful more for Dia de los Muertos. Really to bring back memories.
My dad, he was an avid outdoorsman. He loved camping, kayaking, and mountain climbing. Loved barbecue, loved a cold beer. He was gonna be the one that taught my kids about the outdoors, and it hurts that he's not here for that. My grandmother was a force. Anybody will tell you that. She was resilient. Single mom of 4 kids with her own business. She was my role model.
For me, building an altar is discovery within yourself and your surroundings and others. I was just talking to Marcy yesterday about it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having these feelings. I'm thinking these things and I don't know what to do. It's just different. It's just different. It's like you want them here to ask questions, and finalize, and you can't.
What makes this festival so special is that sense of community. So many people are coming together from all walks of life, just really sharing in their grief and in their healing journey together.
Indeed, so the music, the art, and just being together make the pain of losing someone a little bit easier to bear. Now, the community altar stands as a powerful symbol of that shared experience.
Yeah, it's made up of hundreds of photos, pictures of loved ones who live in our hearts. For many, it's a touching moment to come and search for that one special photo that they've submitted.
And sometimes people bring their own photos to add to the altar, along with food and drinks, offerings from the heart. As the night goes on, we're going to share a closer look at some of the people being honored. You'll see their photos pop up in the bottom corner of your screen.
Plus, later this evening, we'll check back in with Jen as she uncovers some of these unique and touching stories.
Still to come, take a journey through the ofrendas, honoring musical legends like Ozzy Osbourne, Selena, and many more.
Plus, a special tribute to Flaco Jimenez, our local Grammy-winning conjunto maestro, whose music has touched hearts all around the world.
After the break, we'll continue sharing the stories behind the altars with tributes to the family matriarchs, nuestras abuelitas.
For most families, the grandmas or abuelas, they're really the heart and soul. They bring us together. They're the matriarchs. And when we lose them, that family dynamic shifts in ways that we just can't expect.
Yeah, but 2 young women new to building altars are making their memories live on. These ofrendas help keep their families close no matter the circumstance.
For me, I would always want to keep my grandma's legacy alive because she was a powerhouse.
What kind of things would you 2 do together?
Oh my gosh. Besides chismeando. My name is Brianna Rodriguez, and this is my first time building an altar. My grandmother recently passed this December, and she was the matriarch of our family. She was grandma, and she was always so active in everybody's lives. This is my cousin Michael. And so this was when he graduated from college, and they were at everything, they always showed up for us, graduations, plays, cheer competitions. She was always there, and losing her was so hard because I guess when you just love someone so much, you never really imagine your life without them. This was one of my favorite pictures. This is when the Spurs won their first NBA championship, and we were out there at the Riverwalk, and there's me with my grandma. I was always with her. She loved her kids, she loved her grandkids, and I think having such a big family made her feel warm because she was adopted. She was the only child. Each vase is supposed to represent the 7 kids that my grandparents had, and then in each vase is gonna be the number of kids. There's 19 grandchildren, so there's 19 of us, and then I wanna believe there's 33 great-grandchildren. There's so many of us that the smallest function was always big. And I told my family and my cousins as well, I want y'all to bring something that reminds you of grandma. Just come and put it on the ofrenda, and yeah, that way she could have all her stuff. I'm making her a rooster a la brige. I chose a rooster because my grandma grew up in the rancho out in Raymondville, Texas. And so she's always had like a love for roosters, and they had roosters on their ranch. She had roosters in her kitchen decorated, and she loved to snack on animal crackers. Her Cajun shrimp nail polish was my grandma's signature color. Like, it didn't matter where she was going, how she was dressed, it was always the OPI Cajun shrimp. You can see the nails right there. And she loved her bracelets and she loved her jewelry. The Virgen de Guadalupe, she's always been a figurehead in our family, not just because my grandma's name is Guadalupe, but she's always been just a sign of comfort and peace for us. My grandma's birthday is on the same day as the Virgen de Guadalupe. The statue that you see on the table, it belonged to my grandma, and it was something that she always kept by her side in her room, and so every time I see her, she reminds me of my grandma. It's been an emotional roller coaster. You know, I have my moments where I'm just there working on stuff and I start laughing because like I start thinking about certain memories that her and I had together, but it's been very therapeutic. I feel like my connection with my cousins has grown a lot. We find ourselves like reminiscing, and we all like share pictures between one another, and that's one thing that she would be really happy about. Although like her passing was extremely hard, it really like brought us all closer. And you know, we're grieving together, but we're also healing together. I know it's not going to be as elaborate as most, but I hope people can connect with my family, and especially my grandma, and just see like how loved she was.
The love of the Virgen, the Chisme, these are all things that all of us can relate to, and that's what Brianna's relationship was like with her grandma. And get this, she says her favorite thing to do with her is take her to Luby's.
Luann Platter for sure. But if you were able to grow up with your grandparents, you're very fortunate. But imagine if both of your grandmas were best friends. I mean, how cool is that?
So cool, so spoiled. I love that. And that was the case for this altar builder honoring both of her grandmas. Let's take a look.
I think there's moments where it really does hit me like, wow, this, you know, they aren't here. But I believe wholeheartedly that when I set up that thought and I put their photos there, that this is their path to come back to us on Dia de los Muertos. My name's Jennifer Gonzalez. We're honoring my grandmothers, Guadalupe Perez and Maria Elena Silva. My grandma Elena, she was born in Nuevo León, Mexico. In '67, her husband, my grandpa Lencho, he came to the U.S. and worked as a migrant worker. And then a couple years later, they met him over here, and they were determined to become USA citizens. And in 2015, my grandma Lena became a USA citizen, and of course my grandpa as well. And so she was very proud of that. And my grandma Lupe, so she was born in Floresville, Texas, and she grew up on the south side of San Antonio. She worked as a cafeteria worker at Harlandale ISD for 22 years. And she was married to my grandpa for 63 years. They were both just really hardworking women. I always looked up to them. They were selfless. They put their husbands first, their kids first, us first. And so I try to embody that strength and that courage that they had every day. They were the best comadres. Growing up, I just thought all grandmothers were best friends because that's how their relationship was. I soon learned that's not always the case. But yes, they were comadres through and through. They were just a constant presence in our life. Grandma Lena, she helped raise us a lot, which allowed my mom to go back to school and my dad to work full time. When I was in 3rd grade, I wanted to try out in the talent show. And my grandma Lena picked the music and she taught me the choreography for my routine with me and my friends. And so I just remember being in the living room with her dancing, and my grandma Lupe and my grandpa, they would take us on these really nice vacations to Ruidoso, New Mexico, and she was also a really good cook. My favorite dish of hers was conchitas. Anytime I would come to visit, she always had a pot of conchitas on the stove ready for me. Didn't matter what time of day it was. As soon as I would come in, I could smell them. I never imagined life without them, but both of my grandmothers had their own little altares in their homes. And I grew up knowing about the holiday, and I even built my own altar, my first altar out of a shoebox. And so now, placing the photos of my two grandmothers, it's a bigger impact. So this is going to be our second year participating. I wanted to do something to commemorate them, and so I applied on a whim, and I literally just drew my vision on a piece of paper and I handed it to my husband, and he built an 8-foot tall altar, and it was everything that I wanted. And then when I brought my family on, they all pitched in and bought different pieces and decorations for the altar. And so when we were out there, I didn't realize how much our altar would resonate with so many visitors. I think we all know that grandparents are the heart and soul of a lot of families. My grandma Lupe, she loved butterflies. So we're gonna have cutouts of butterflies, and we're going to encourage visitors to write down the names of their grandparents and then hang them on our altar. Just a way to kind of get the community involved and honor their grandparents as well.
Welcome back to Dia de los Muertos at Hemisphere. You know, this celebration is truly something special. Over the past 13 years, it has grown from just a few altars in La Villita to really taking over the heart of downtown San Antonio.
And Ernie, more than 80 altars have created this beautiful pathway through Civic Park, and we wish that we can show you every single one because they're just amazing. But we're gonna send it out to Jen Tobias Stresky, who's out and about taking a look at some of the altars that have caught people's eyes.
Music, legacy, and influence. Here at Muertos Fest, you'll find several ofrendas that honor the musicians who resonated in our hearts, from Kiss to Selena, David Bowie, all pictured here.
Usually every year I allow the students to come up with an idea or come up with a person that we can celebrate, and this year they chose Ozzy.
Yes, as in Ozzy Osbourne. The late rock star passed away in July. Lighthouse Public Schools decided to honor him in their own creative way.
Well, Ozzy died of Parkinson's disease, and the national symbol for Parkinson's disease is the red tulip. So every class that came in, they made a red tulip, and we decided to place it all around the altar. And one of our students, 6th grade students, Roman, decided to do a portrait.
And this chair,
and this
who
is
did this?
all my pre-K to 12th grade.
Pre-K
to
well?
12th grade. Pre-K painted the bottom, and my middle school and high school created the sculpture itself.
We also met this rock music fan taking in the altar built by Holmes Insight High School, honoring past musicians. He shared how his parents bought him his first album, Kiss.
Yeah, they had no idea who Kiss was, so they just saw, okay, music, and then I took it home and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? I've been a Kiss fan ever since.
Yeah. So seeing something like this, obviously that's why you're like, I gotta capture this, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's, getting older, and all the bands that I grew up with, getting older and passing away.
Yes.
This is a very well done.
And straight from Graceland Vibes, Nimitz STEM Academy honors the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley.
Look at all the detail in this ofrenda. You've got the guitars, the shoes, of course the crown. Students put in so much hard work. They've won 3 years in a row, and they're hoping this one will get them another win. Ernie and Sarah, back to you.
Well, this summer we said goodbye to a true San Antonio treasure. Flaco Jimenez grew up playing his accordion among the vibrant sounds of Market Square and Texas Conjunto festivals, but that was, of course, only the beginning of his journey.
That's right, Ernie. He didn't just share Tejano music with the world. He lifted it, infusing it with soul and spirit and inspiring generations of musicians, many of them gathering tonight to celebrate his life and legacy.
Yeah, and soon Flaco's brother will share some of the family's favorite songs, but first he pauses to remember the man whose music still speaks to all of us.
Flaco Jimenez is known far and wide as
Tejano artist that was around forever and ever.
He was a pioneer of Tejano music. I mean, he was awesome.
But to those who knew him best,
we were just family, brothers, musicians. We grew up together, and he's 5 years older than me, and the music-wise también. When he used to practice at home with his band, I used to hang around there, and he would tell me to go to another room. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna be better than you.
a bit of brotherly rivalry that only strengthened their bond over music.
We worked together, we did a lot of recordings together, and by the age of 17 years old, Flaco was 21, was the first album we did, canciones that my father wrote. Time passed fast, you know, time passed fast, and we were lucky.
Lucky to take their talents to new heights, transforming the conjunto sound.
We all started the old school style, the old school music, like my father's stuff, my grandfather's stuff. By the age of 12 years old, Flaco was recording with my dad in the Bajo Texto. Then Flaco started recording with companies like Rio Records y todo. In 1955 was his first recording.
In these early years, Flaco developed his own flair, putting rock and country twists on traditional accordion tunes.
Pero Flaco started playing with Ry Cooder, different country bands. He wanted to show my dad that he could do more of what he was doing. And he did. He did.
Working alongside legends like Buck Owens, Linda Ronstadt, and Bob Dylan, he won the hearts of fans worldwide.
The people, not only in Texas, but all over Europe, said everybody knows who's Flaco. You know, you could say people are crazy, but they're not crazy. They were crazy about Flaco. They love his music. They can go wild with his music.
Music that earned him 6 Grammys, including a Lifetime Achievement Award and a place in multiple Halls of Fame.
He gave all his heart, soul to the people. Flaco never bragged about himself. Flaco gave all the power to the people.
He called me and he told me, he goes, I just got another Grammy. He goes, but I want you to know that this Grammy, I'm thinking of your dad, I'm thinking of Mingo, I'm thinking of all those compadres, those musicians who never got a Grammy, but inspired this music, fed us who we are. And I thought that was so honorific of El Maestro, you know, because he was already internationally known. But to remember that his roots were always tied in who we are is such a fabric of the success of who we are as artists and as musicians.
Flaco's music continues to inspire new generations of artists.
The legacy that he left behind and the influence on so many musicians, not just accordionists, and not just from San Antonio. And for me as a young accordionist, it's something that has driven me to see that this is not just my grandparents' music. This is not just my grandparents' instrument. It's something that can and has been and continues to break barriers on the world stage.
Aaron Salinas, a third-generation accordion player, was taught by Don Santiago Jimenez Sr. Just like Flaco, he keeps the spirit of conjunto alive by teaching and sharing the tradition. Tonight, he and his students play to honor the Jimenez family.
This is just one way that we can show that even though our elders and that our maestros are, passing on, that we're able to still show that it's here, it's strong, and that it's still expanding and growing and being celebrated.
Because we will never let it die. Hey, you don't want to forget his music, do you? I don't think so. You want to play his music, right? Just to remember.
Flaco's legacy lives, and his music brings comfort, now more than ever.
It hurts sometimes, there are days that are very sad, and there are days that you're very happy because you want to hear the music, our music. My last CD, we did it together. His voice, Even my father's voice, I hear it every day. And it's hard when you have a family and you don't hear their voice anymore. It's something different.
Tonight, Santiago's performance taking on a new significance.
Well, it's going to be excited and it's going to be very sad and sentimental because I'm going to play for Flaco.
Margarita, que llorando está. Ay, qué lástima, ay, qué lástima, qué lástima me da de ver a Margarita, que llorando está. Te voy a comprar chinela y un vestido muy bonito para que baile la polka al estilo Cacuachito. Ya con esta me despido. Blanca flor de amapolita, aquí se acaban cantando los versos de Margarita. Ay, qué lástima, ay, qué lástima, qué lástima me da de ver a Margarita, que llorando está. Ay, qué lástima, ay, qué lástima, qué lástima me da de ver a Margarita, que llorando está.
Thank you, muchas gracias.
Welcome back. As we continue to explore the 80 altars, you will find in many cases some of them will literally stop you in your tracks. You pause and you listen to the stories behind the photos, and you discover that some altar builders are not just honoring the lives that we've lost, but also raising awareness for issues that really hit deep in our hearts.
We're in Military City, USA, and there wasn't really any kind of altar for veterans. You know, we're losing 22 a day. It's very personal to me. As a veteran who could have easily been on someone else's altar, I just knew, like, we had to do something. I'm Gabe.
And I'm Maria. We've been married for 13 years.
Operation Solace was born from the fact that psychedelics saved my life. I had a few injuries coming out of the military. I joined right out of high school in 2000, spent a few years in Alaska, came back. Just a hard transition. Nobody kind of teaches you how to not be in the military. I got my back surgery, I got a hip replacement surgery, along with, you know, daily life and life with kids, and it started to take its toll mentally. All of the dark things that I put away just started coming back. And, you know, I went into a really bad place like 3.5 years ago.
It was definitely a hard time of our lives.
There are so many people that are struggling with mental health, not only in the military veteran space, but really as a nation. It's kind of an epidemic, that there are different ways to dealing with mental health, and we just need to think out of the box a little bit. And these plant-based medicines have been around for who knows how long, forever. During my journey, I had my grandma walk me through stages of my life to tell that little boy, that scared little boy, of Like you're good, you're loved, you're happy. Look at all the great things you do. So when we're, building this altar, I'm carrying her spirit also. I go through hundreds of pictures of veterans who have lost their life by suicide, and it weighs the sadness, but also the gratitude that I have to be able to do this and honor them. I wanted everything that is displayed at the altar made by my hand, because we put a lot into this, emotionally, physically, monetarily, and it's almost ceremonial. I light my Palo Santo, I cleanse the area, and then I just get to work. I'm putting my love in there, and I want that love to just radiate through.
He has such grand ideas, and I see them coming to fruition. And one thing that's really fantastic about the altar and the community in San Antonio specifically is how they've really embraced this effort. We talked a lot about this being a community altar of sorts, because so many people are affected by this. Veteran suicide is not just a veteran issue. It's not just a military issue. This is a national issue. It is an epidemic, and despite all of the efforts that are being made, it's just not enough.
And there are other ways. There are other treatments for PTSD and depression, TBIs. I'm living proof that it works.
It really is humbling to be inside this altar, this ofrenda, and there are so many little personal touches. We see the boots and the candles and everything, but Gabe, even down to the incense, which I know you can't smell, but these incense sticks were hand rolled by Gabe. And he really spared no expense on the personal touches, the nods to the American flag, the challenge coins, and of course the photos of the many military heroes that we've lost. Finally, let me direct your attention to the top here, the ceiling, which it's like raining dog tags here. Hundreds, close to 1,000 military dog tags suspended from the ceiling of this ofrenda. And finally, the stained glass windows, those colorful lights, the glass that was donated by a San Antonio company meant to capture the sunlight and radiate it onto all of these dog tags. Truly a somber and fitting tribute here in Military City, USA.
Still to come, meet the woman who turns heads every year with her stunning, elaborate Catrina costumes. She's known as La Catrina Tejana, and later in the show, she'll share how she prepares for this holiday and why it holds a deep and special place in her heart.
And you won't want to miss a one-of-a-kind procession featuring tributes on foot, on wheels, and even on stilts. It's a spectacle that brings the spirit of Dia de los Muertos to life like you've never seen before. Well, food is at the heart of every holiday, but especially Dia de los Muertos. Traditionally, we would place pan de muerto on the altars, and its orange essence is believed to guide the souls back to us.
Yeah, it's all about putting out their favorite food and their drinks. For example, when putting an altar together for my Huito Oscar, I put out scotch and ginger ale.
Yes.
And then for my Huita Tina, some coffee with some pan dulce.
I love the personal touches. So this next group of young artists has spent the last 4 months diving into the recipes and the traditions of their families, and they've dedicated their altar to celebrating this beautiful element.
Food really connects us to our elders and our ancestors, both near and very distant throughout time. And so it was a real nice opportunity to kind of talk about those things with the girls as they're making these pieces for the altar that are centered around food. I'm Manny Esquivel. I'm the art teacher at Young Women's Leadership Academy Primary here in San Antonio Independent School District. This is our third year making an altar for Muertos Fest. It's always been part of our curriculum. We are going to start off jumping right in to our Muertos Fest altar. Well, all three, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, all had a PBL project that was centered around food in some way. They began this project by talking to their families about their own family's food traditions. And they conducted interviews with family members about the foods that they care about most.
My mom and my dad both gave me recipes. One of them was a cookie recipe that my mom said that her grandma used to make for her when her and her sister were kids. And then my dad's was a soup that his mom used to make.
My mom gave me pumpkin pie. which was her great-grandmother's.
They're also responsible for writing procedural texts, so sequencing their recipes, and then also personal narratives where they get really heavy with the sensory details. And they're so touching just to hear them talk about their loved ones that they're remembering and celebrating. Like, they remember the laughs, they remember the warm hugs, they remember like the special times spent together.
Many of these recipes are from living family members, but some of them have been able to trace these recipes back to great-great-grandparents. It was a real nice opportunity for us to take the learning that was happening in those classrooms and extend it here in the art room, where the girls were able to center our altar around that.
Right now we're working on all the food, and it's like gonna be different food made out of paper mache.
There's gonna be a slice of cake, a chicken wing, a slice of watermelon, and a concha.
They're also making one 7 to 8 foot Catrina that is going to be cooking in the kitchen. What we're going to do is invite the public to share their recipes, because I think one thing that we really want to focus in on with this project is not that food connects us to our past, but it connects us to each other, and it also connects us to other cultures. And I always want to make sure that all of my students are seeing themselves in the type of projects that they engage with, in the type of learning that they have, the type of artwork that they study. Part of my motivation as an art teacher is to show the girls that our gallery is bigger than the school walls. And so it was just a natural progression to find a way to display our altar to the public. When they're able to walk into a gallery space or a huge public event like Muertos Fest and see their work displayed, it really is a source of pride and motivation.
In the school category, For the Culture Homeschool takes home the winning prize. Check out their amazing structure. A giant tree with an animatronic monarch butterfly on top. The tree trunk donned with framed photos of migrants whose names we know, and the hundreds of butterflies representing those names we don't know.
Welcome back to Dia de los Muertos at Hemisphere. It has been a beautiful night of celebrations and tributes and just beautiful displays from artists and even everyday people.
Absolutely, Ernie. And one of the ways that we celebrate is through our vibrant clothing. I mean, we've seen everything from costumes to flower crowns to hats, and people who even walking ofrendas telling their story without words.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. And now we're going to hear from one local woman who's really raising the bar. She's elevating herself every year to pay tribute to those lives who were lost and bring even more to this wonderful tradition.
I'm not a professional designer. I just start gluing things and it all comes together. I've never actually sat and sketched anything out like a professional artist. It's a very big hobby that has taken a life of its own. My name is Anita Samaniego Avellana, known on social media as La Catrina Tejana. I kind of start with fabric and an idea of the dress, and then from there is when I do the headpiece. It's all self-taught, tons of videos online to look at. I look for inspiration throughout the year, and I love looking at other Catrinas throughout different states, Mexico City. I love looking at history, dolls and statues. And I have so many ideas that run through my head, and luckily my seamstress is like, let me know what you want to do and we'll do it. So every year I feel like we get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. This is years of accumulation. This is all jewelry that I've bought and never worn in preparation for a potential outfit. I'm always thinking, oh, how would that look on a crown? How would that look on something? Never knowing if I'm ever going to actually use it. It's just a creative outlet, I feel like. I just buy flowers throughout the year. I don't ever know which color is going to show up in the scheme until I see part of the patterns of the dress. And my makeup artist is the same way. I let her do what she wants. Once she sees the dresses, the color scheme that she puts together, I'm always taken back by it. And I think it comes out better that way. I love to see people's reactions when they first see me, especially people that are not from San Antonio that are here visiting, because you'll have people that come from everywhere from Muertos Fest. I ran into people from Tennessee, Kentucky. They're like, this is beautiful. What does this mean? And it gives you a chance just to kind of share the story about La Catrina. You're like, oh, you know, she's a symbol of that we're all, death is beautiful. We're all going to be beautiful in death. We're all the same in death. Nothing matters, because when you die, nothing goes with you. When we pass, all we have is our legacy of what we left behind. As a child, I always knew about the Day of the Dead, but it was only in a church sense. It wasn't as elaborate, I feel like it is now. because as a child, I only knew it was one of the holiest days as a Catholic. Unfortunately, when my brother's passing, that's when it became a little more apparent to me how it was celebrated. My brother was one of those people that if you knew him, you loved him. You really did. He was a very special person. These are some of the few pictures that are actually in Mexico when we were kids. That's my dad, and that's actually my brother and me. We were only about 3 years apart. My grandmother and my brother and me. That's one of the few, just us three. And it's hard to believe it's been 19 years. He died in 2006. He died on Halloween. The second used to be very sad for me because it was like, oh, it's the day we buried my brother. But it's like, no, it's a day to celebrate him. Because I've often told people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without my brother. I really wouldn't. Anybody who's gone through nursing school will tell you that it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I can honestly tell you there were so many times I was like, I don't need to do this. And my brother was like, no, you will become a nurse. If it kills me, you will become a nurse. The people either know me as a nurse or Katrina. It's actually a very peaceful way of kind of calming your mind. You kind of get into a zone, and that whole creativeness just kind of, it just kind of takes you away from the stress of work. What makes it worth it, realistically, I love to see people's reactions to me. I have people that tell me, I can't wait to see what you're gonna put on your dress for social media. I had a little girl last year, she goes, my daughter wants to be you when she grows up. I had one lady who came up to me last year, she goes, I look for you every year now to take a picture with you, and I love that.
Let's head back to the Civic Park main stage where La Doña is getting the crowd moving. She joins us all the way from San Francisco, California, bringing her unique sound, blending traditional Latin tunes with Bay Area hip-hop.
A bailar, San Antonio, que se acerque un poquito. Come on up, y'all. Come dance with us. Memorias no recuerdo tu rostro, solo tus dientes en mi ardiente piel. No reconozco tu sombra, no más tu boca sabor a miel. Te quiero, papá, que no aguanto más. 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 Que va, te quiero, papá, que va, que no aguanto más. Que va, te quiero, papá, que no aguanto más. Que va, te quiero, papá, que no aguanto más. Que va, te quiero, papá, que no aguanto más.
This festival is now drawing artists from across the border. After the break, we'll show you how students from Mexico are leaving their mark on San Antonio's celebration. Welcome back to Muertos Fest 2025. We are inside UNAM at Hemisphere, where a very special group of students came all the way from Mexico City to join in our Day of the Dead celebrations. They built this altar to take us on a journey in the world of food.
This year we're honoring the San Antonio Chili Queens, this group of women from the 1870s to the 1930s that they were entrepreneurs when women basically had many rights at the time, that they could not own a business, they could not vote. These women, Mexican American women, were working and selling their food in the plazas of San Antonio, and we thought it was really important for us to honor them this year because the theme that we picked this year is Mexican food and its legacy. And we all love chili con carne, and probably everybody knows that it was actually a recipe created by these women.
In Mexico City, we don't really know chili, right? Enchiladas can be made from any sauce you want, so if you go south, you can maybe have an enchilada with pipián, which is a little bit greener. You go more to the center, you can have enmoladas, which is similar but just with mole. These foods, they change all the time, but they're traditional, mostly in their ingredients.
And so the chili queens are this part of that process, of evolution from the pre-Columbian food that our ancestors used to eat in Mexico, and how those ingredients met the Spanish ingredients. It's all about Mexican food, how it started and how it developed into what we know today as Mexican cuisine. The idea that having Mexican students actually from Mexico that study in our school in Mexico is very significant for us. It really adds that touch, that special touch, that this is a Mexican tradition built by students from Mexico. And then the cherry of this cake for us is to have the students from UTSA joining them here.
It's just that familiarity as well, that they know my skills in some sort of way, since we're all architecture students, so we kind of have a general idea of how we work. And I mean, it's just a trusting process where right now I'm actually currently working on the names of family members who passed.
Cards, they have the names of their relatives and the foods that they liked the most. So it's a way for us to honor our ancestors, to remember how recipes passed through time. The tree was very important for the pre-Hispanic cultures, specifically for the Maya. They had a sacred tree, which was a ceiba, because it linked the underworld to the earth and heaven. So we decided to have this element, to have this link to our ancestors.
I believe that people realize, that this is a moment of reflection also, reflection of life, reflection of those who are gone but are still present in our life.
Don't go anywhere. There's still so much more Muertos Fest ahead. As the sun sets, folks are finding their perfect spots to watch a one-of-a-kind procession come to life. But you've got the best seat in the house.
And later, Jesse Borrego y Tribu will take the stage, but first they'll share the story behind the band, a tale that makes their music even more meaningful.
And at the beautiful focal point here at Muertos Fest is the community altar behind me. Everybody was welcome to bring a photo of their family member, somebody they'd like to honor and remember, and share their stories.
At the heart of this festival, love lives on. Every photo tells a story, a family.
My dad actually just passed away 2 years ago. My mom's already been about 23, 24 years.
Of laughter.
We always laugh because we always tell them Ay, what would your dad be saying right now?
And of loss that still connects us.
He just passed away in January as our long fight with colon cancer. He was a fighter to the end, truck driver, family man, to the day he died. Grandkids, he would always spoil. So doing this helped keep his memory alive and going.
Edward Perez was one of so many remembered here tonight.
He had married 45 years. Gave me 5 beautiful children. Very proud of him. And what can I say? I mean, things haven't been the same, but I continue to move on. I have my children and grandchildren to give me hope in life. I was there for him till his very last breath, till he let go of my hand. He went in peace. He went in peace. Give you a hug.
Moments like this fill the altar with more than photos. They fill it with connection.
What's your favorite part about the community altar? That everybody can come together. I think that's pretty nice. Everybody can come together and see and know and they experience the same heartache that we all go through once we lose a loved one. Did you know about the community altar? Yes, I did. I was looking for it all night. So you had your picture ready? Yes, I did. Yes, I came just for this. I have my 2 grandparents and my uncle. Well, tell me about them. My grandparents, they were amazing. My grandpa, he was a sweetheart. All he did was eat sweets. He let me eat his sweets. And my grandma would make me cookies. She would make me pozole, her tacos of beans.
From grandparents to newborns, this father came tonight to find his son's photo.
His name was Mateo. Dark.
It's okay.
Mateo Alan Cardona Esparza. I want to say, I call him a miracle baby because they told us that he wasn't going to look perfect. But when he came out, handsome little boy. Oh, I always told myself I thought he would be a basketball player because he was longer than me as a baby. It's only been a year, but it still hits me all the time.
I was able to meet so many sweet people here tonight sharing their stories about their loved ones, many of them in tears. And this community altar back here, I'm sure will just continue to grow with more photos each year.
Well, we're back here at Muertos Fest 2025 at Civic Park. What an evening it's already been, and the best part is still to come.
I know. You know, Ernie, we've talked to altar builders. We've seen the costumes, really getting the sights and sounds of everything. But this is 22 groups in this procession. In San Antonio, we know how to do parades. We know how to do processions the best way.
I would agree. And we're biased, though, but right on cue, we have, I believe it's Bexar County Sheriffs, one of their finest, leading the way here, kind of clearing the path with their motorcycle, if you will.
It's a very intimate procession. I mean, I'm literally, the walkway is only maybe 6 feet wide.
Right. And here we go with our very first entry here tonight, our procession.
This is the Kalapui al Yolopaksin. It's a collective composed of intertribal families and kinships dedicated to preserving ancestral danza, cultura, and medicine.
And initiated members of the Mexica Chichimeca danza tradition, the group shares its heritage by engaging with the community through healing, song, and dance.
Yeah, they're actively working to retribalize their community, striving to undo the harm caused by colonization through education, social justice initiatives, and the folk life arts.
The collective is dedicated to honoring the lives of those who have migrated since the memorial, and they uphold this commitment. Kalapuli Ayolo Baksin ensures that their vital traditions and legacy are continuously shared across their ancestral lands.
Ernie, I love this group. They usually kick off the procession. Their costumes are so authentic. And it feels like it's almost like a great way just to start the procession, like clearing the air, making sure everything is clean, spiritually, emotionally, mentally.
Fantastic way to start. All right, we move on to Friends, Family, and Muertos Fest honoring Mary Cantu, a group we showed you a little while ago honoring Mary Elizabeth Cantu, a joyful and creative force in the San Antonio arts community.
Yeah, Mary was the founder of Spare Parts, the nonprofit that helped teachers and artists turn discarded materials into creative treasures and inspired the idea. As she often said, trash is just the failure of imagination.
I love that. San Antonio native and longtime art teacher, Cantu led with generosity and vision. She's encouraged playful, community-based projects like Pushcart Derby, Bubble Fest, and Font Masters, blending creativity, collaboration, and joy in public spaces.
All right, next we have the Grupo Folclórico de Bendiciones. It's an award-winning folklorico dance group known for its vibrant performances and talented dancers.
They were founded back in 2015 by Anthony Salazar. The group has gained recognition for its participation in charity events and appearances on TV, including SA Live on KSAT.
I love that. So they have shared the stage with renowned artists like Lila Downs, Los Tigres del Norte, and Mariachi Vargas Tecatlitan.
Now, they're honoring the life and legacy of Maestro Miguel Ponce. He was a renowned folklorico dancer and instructor.
Yeah, the founder of Grupo Folclórico Zapata in 1984 in Houston. So he started his career in Nuevo Laredo and later studied at the Academia de Danza in Mizoc in Mexico City.
Beautiful stuff. Okay, moving right along here. Okay, we have a beauty queen among us here, the Miss Texas Latina, honoring Consuelo Gutierrez. They're celebrating individuals who serve as more than models, highlighting them as essential role models within the community.
Oh, she's beautiful. Central to this initiative is the honor being bestowed upon Consuelo Gutierrez. She was the beloved matriarch, an unwavering pillar of strength and solace for her family.
So her name is derived from the Latin word consolari, meaning to alleviate or calm, which perfectly reflects her nurturing nature and immediate ability to provide comfort to those around her.
All right, right behind them is the Samba Vida Drum and Dance Company. And they are honoring Maria Magdalena Robles and Nemesia Arzola.
Now they stand out as San Antonio's hottest and most diverse and drum entertainment ensemble, and maybe the loudest.
Yeah.
We've heard them for the last half hour.
Yeah,
here.
we could hear them across the park.
Yeah, and they're renowned for bringing culturally vibrant, as you can see and hear, high-energy performances to a wide range of public and private events across the region, including Muertos Fest.
Yeah, Samba Vida creates visually stunning spectacle with an all-ensemble members dressed in meticulous-themed costumes. Can we just take a listen to them for a second? Very cool. They are really the heartbeat of this procession.
Yeah, and that rhythm will stick in your head, that is for sure. All right, we're going to move on now to SATX Social Ride. They're honoring local cyclists killed by motor vehicles. They're an open, community-based organization serving as both a cycling group and a dedicated advocacy resource within the urban core of San Antonio.
Yeah, so this year the organization is undertaking a powerful and poignant tribute to highlight the critical issue of cyclist fatalities on local roads. Unfortunately, this is a problem that we cover here at KSAT all the time.
All too often.
Good for them for paying tribute to those lives who've been lost on the roads.
All right, moving on now to Fallen Riders, honoring, these are motorcyclists who have been lost on the road. They are an organization dedicated to the compassionate memorialization of individuals who have tragically passed away in motorcycle accidents.
Yeah, so Fallen Riders executes this mission through visible and acts of remembrance. And during this procession, including participants, both riders and family members, they're walking together, they're carrying their pictures of their family and friends who have been lost too soon.
And that is what they do, a part of their mission. It's a dual mission, they call it, to honor the memory of loved ones and, again, foster that supportive community. They do that. Obviously, a somber procession here for this organization, but their vision is to be an essential part of the long-term healing and recovery process for affected families. And you see the posters there with the victims. Okay, on to Guadalupe Dance Company and Mariachi Azteca de America, honoring the late, great Flaco Jimenez, who we lost not too long ago. He was born in 1939. Flaco was a Grammy Award-winning accordionist and singer recognized globally for pioneering conjunto, norteño, and tejano music.
Yeah, this was the group that kicked us off. They are a beautiful dance company, and they always tell these stories, usually of stories that you don't hear in the classroom. I've done several stories with them, and they're always highlighting these legendary voices, and it's beautiful to see their tribute to Flaco Jimenez.
Now, the program strives to create an environment that embraces history, nurtures artists, and achieves his technical standards. Just some beautiful, and I think it's one of these cases where the camera does not do these dresses and the colors
and
justice.
These women are on stilts.
They are on stilts.
They're dancing and they're walking on stilts. All right, but now we are at Los de Mictlan, honoring Nuestras Reinas. They're a collective of Mexican-American cultural artists dedicated to celebrating the art and tradition of Dia de los Muertos through fashion, crafts, and ceremonial expression.
So this year, their powerful participation in the procession is specifically dedicated to Nuestras Reinas, or our queens, honoring the profound memories of 4 individuals: Elias Castillon, Maria Concha Castillon, Juanita Valdez Diaz, and Isabel Rodriguez.
Yeah, the tribute center is heavily on the enduring legacy of Elias and Maria Castillon, 2 farm workers and migrants whose lives were defined by sacrifice and commitment to family. Okay, looks like we have Los Abuelos de Oro and Los Rietos.
Look at them.
The Hawthorne Academy.
I love it.
Oh, they're so cute.
Las Abuelitas de Oro and Los Rayitos del Sol de Hawthorne Academy. They are presenting Ancestors in Motion, a vibrant intergenerational tribute honoring their loved ones who have passed on.
Oh, they are adorable. I love this. They believe that by remembering those who came before them, they keep their memories, stories, and culture contributions alive for future generations.
And each abuela, as you can see, or abuelita, will carry her own small ofrenda to honor the women who have shaped their lives, while the children dance alongside them, carrying marigolds, of course, to symbolize guiding the spirits of the ancestors.
And now we're looking at Trinity University's Latino Association. They're honoring community members who've supported Trinity's University Latinx students.
Yeah, the organization aims to commemorate the collective struggles, the triumphs, and lives that have guided the community to its current standing, relying on their ancestors for continued inspiration and guidance.
Okay, and now we are on Ballet Folklorico Festival honoring Las Adelitas and other revolutionary women. They are the largest folklorico dance organization in San Antonio, boasting a performance of legacy spanning over 30 years locally, across the country, and internationally as well.
Yeah, the powerful tribute focuses on the story of those Las Adelitas, the brave soldaderas, the women soldiers and camp followers who traveled and fought alongside the Mexican Revolutionary Army back in the 1910s.
I love this. The organization extends this theme to honor other pivotal women, including legendary Mexican artist Frida Kahlo and Mexican-American civil rights journalist Jovita Idar. Oh, we got... So what we're going to listen, what you can hear right now is the Bear Brass honoring the late and great Ozzy Osbourne. Let's take a listen to them.
So Bear Brass is a San Antonio ensemble that fuses, as you can probably hear, New Orleans jazz traditions with funk, rock, reggae, and local regional sounds.
Yeah, tonight they're honoring the iconic Ozzy Osbourne. Many of us know him as the legendary frontman for Black Sabbath, earning those titles of Prince of Darkness and Godfather of Heavy Metal.
The cumulative impact of Osbourne's career is sustained, or I should say substantiated, by over 100 million album sales and formal recognition through his dual induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in both 2006 and in 2024.
Okay, right behind them is the Little Flower Catholic School honoring the Messidarian Sisters of Blessed Sacrament in Discalced. Yeah, they're the Little Flower Catholic School, and right behind them
Yeah, this is a Viva Tejana Dance Company honoring queens of Tejana music. They're a local company that was founded by Sofia Salgado back in 2020, and they try to spread happiness and cultural joy through their dedicated execution of Tejano music and dance.
Yeah, this year they pay tribute to the queens of Tejano like Lydia Mendoza, Laura Canales, who was, of course, the inspiration for the La Reina herself, Selena Quintanilla Perez. You know, all of these women came together to revolutionize Tejano, leaving an enduring global impact.
They honor those trailblazers as a direct way to celebrate the strength and heritage of the Tejano music genre itself, and they look and they sound fantastic.
Love seeing these signs honoring all the women that came before us. Okay, now we're going on. This is a crowd favorite. This is Las Monas. They are a group honoring our ancestors, and they showcase these huge display of dance and storytelling through these colorful costumes and rhythmic movements. They're like these giant Catrina puppets, Ernie.
Yeah, and they've been around for a dozen years. They're well known, as Sarah just alluded to, for their incredible puppetry, the dancing. They can be up to 18 feet tall. They will literally tower over everybody here at Muertos Fest.
Yeah, they are incredible. These are the ones everyone wants to take a picture with. There's somebody in these costumes. Can you imagine how heavy these are, Ernie? And operating them.
Can you see? What's the sight line in that thing?
I don't know how they do it. I really don't, but it's so cool.
In the dark, no less. That's remarkable.
And these are, we've interviewed them in the past, and they spend, years working on these and perfecting them, and they make these here locally by hand.
Yeah, and the detail and everything, and we're kind of just, they literally tower over everybody, so it's not hard to miss them. But pretty remarkable stuff there.
This is very...
I can see why they're a crowd favorite.
Yeah, no, everyone has their phones out right now.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely going to make the reel that people are putting together for social media, because this is one of the coolest parts. I love the monarch. The monarch, Catrina there.
Oh, the butterfly, yeah.
It's beautiful. And Ernie, it wouldn't be a San Antonio parade or procession without the lights.
Absolutely.
The lights on the dresses.
I mean, we've got the Flambeau Parade, obviously, during Fiesta, but this one's got to be right up there.
It really is.
And it's more intimate, though, right? I mean, as opposed to Flambeau, like you said earlier, this pathway is very narrow, as you can see right there, and so it feels much more intimate.
You feel like you're part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're right next to it. I feel like we are definitely part of it.
Yeah. And quite a large procession here. Las Monas, again, honoring our ancestors here. And as we said, a mesmerizing display there of storytelling, the colorful costumes, and well, there's still a few more back there.
Yeah, this is probably one of the largest group, Las Monas, comprised of drumline, costumes, folklorico dancers, and of course these giant Catrina puppets.
And the percussion instruments and the drums and everything, just all the little extra touches are so nice.
Okay, now we are on Family Garcia. The Family Garcia Armandaris is participating in the procession to keep the tradition of Dia los Muertos alive.
So their family's dedication to this custom began 6 years ago, inspired primarily by the passing of their patriarch, Filemon Garcia, who remains the central focus of their annual ofrenda.
Yeah, so the family's collective altar is beautiful representation of their ancestry, with each of their loved ones represented by items reflecting their passions in life. Other family members include his parents, Rodolfo Garcia and Rosario Garcia.
Okay, on to the Cesar E. Chavez Legacy and Educational Foundation, or CCLEF, honoring the late Jaime P. Martinez, who was a highly influential figure in the labor and civil rights movements here locally and, of course, nationwide.
Yeah, the foundation is committed to preserving the legacy of Cesar Chavez through education and outreach.
Tonight they're paying tribute to Martinez's dedication to advancing the rights of working people and the Latino community. Now, Jaime Martinez rose from a San Antonio factory worker to a national labor leader, tirelessly advocating for social justice throughout his life.
Yeah, his career as an advocate began in the 1960s, where he fought for fair wages, working protections for the marginalized workers across multiple states.
The organization is now run by his son, Ernest Martinez, who's continuing the legacy and everything. But the list of accomplishments is very long. Jaime's effectiveness led to his election in 1997 as the first Hispanic on the IUE AFL-CIO National Executive Board. And of course, he ultimately retired in the year 2000.
Yeah, his enduring civic commitment is further recognized through his successful 13-year effort to rename a major city street after Cesar Chavez.
And there is the Martinez family there, Ernest and his wife Joyce, and very good. Okay.
All right, now we are looking at the Aracini Rental House honoring Alexander McQueen. And of course, it's led by artist and costume designer Bertha Fernandez.
So the work of Fernandez celebrates identity, transformation, and memory through handcrafted garments and visual performance, and is inspired by both tradition and avant-garde design.
Yeah, her aim is to honor the past while continually creating something boldly new, often drawing inspiration from themes of mortality and profound transformation.
So Fernandez walks in memory of the legendary designer Lee Alexander McQueen, who passed away in 2010. He was a visionary celebrated for fearlessly merging beauty with darkness, history with rebellion, and fashion with raw emotion.
Oh, so beautiful. And that wraps up our procession.
My goodness, so much Muertos Fest there, a lot to take in and beautiful.
I just love this procession. It's intimate. It had the drums, it had the lights, it had the giant Catrinas. It's perfect.
A little bit of everything. And we had a pretty good seat, to be clear, but Jen Tobias-Strusky had a good seat as well. So Jen, what were things like where you were? What did you get to see?
Okay, the procession just finished right through here. It was a beautiful sight. We have some people that were hanging out. Okay, what did you guys think? I'll start here.
I think it was pretty fun. I love all the colors and their beautiful outfits. It was amazing.
Wow, is that your favorite part?
Yes.
Those outfits?
I love the parade too.
It's so beautiful. And I saw they were wearing some high heels too. How did they do that? I don't know.
I didn't know that too.
Wow, well thank you for sharing. What about you, sir?
Oh, it's amazing. I love the tradition they have out here. It's really amazing to see, and everybody to gather around and just enjoy it. This is awesome to see.
What was your favorite part? Do you have a favorite part?
Well, the mariachis always. Yes, I love the mariachis.
Yes.
Brings out the Mexican tradition, San Antonio rules, exactly.
Yes.
101.
What about you two? I'm going to come over here.
I think.
Yeah, we've been here all day. We posted up here earlier in the day to have a good spot for the parade route. But the ofrendos were beautiful. The costumes were beautiful. It was the dancing was wonderful. Dance company was amazing.
Dance company, they were like
everything. Yeah,
that was like the best thing.
San Antonio puts on such a great day, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so you've been here before. You'll come back, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, the sun has set. Things are getting a little bit cooler up here, but the main stage is about to heat up here at Muertos Fest 2025.
Right, Jesse Borrego is a familiar name around here, born and raised in San Antonio. And it's only fitting that he's become an ambassador for this festival, connecting to it after so many years.
Right, so his band is getting ready to take the stage here in just a moment, but before they do, let's hear a little bit about Who has inspired the unique sound of Jesse E. Tribu?
One of the beautiful things about Muertos Fest is it brings together all of the elements that it takes to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which is a cultural celebration for us, right? But it's also a spiritual one, so it honors our ancestors, the people that have inspired us, the people that we lost. I like to say I'm an artist. You know, a lot of people know me as an actor, but I've been singing and dancing and performing since I was 5 years old. Come from a performance family. My father was a well-known acordeonista, conjunto musician here in San Antonio, so we grew up listening to him perform. You know, with Jesse Borrego, you know, they call him senior, but he was actually the junior. I'm actually the third. But Jesse Borrego was, again, like I said, very celebrated, you know, good friends with Mingo Saldivar, you know, the dancing cowboy, Flaco Jimenez, Valerio Longoria, which are some of the heavy hitters of the conjunto world. Those were my dad's peers. Those were my dad's compadres, you know. And one of the things that he was known for was his very particular accordion arrangements to traditional songs. So my grandmother, who was the musician, she played piano, she knew music. She would teach my dad songs that he would then develop with his conjunto band, Los Haces de Texas. And so I grew up in the conjunto scene, but also watching my father sing the songs that his mother had taught him, you know, that celebrated our cultura, that really defined for me who I was gonna be as an artist. So then I had a band in the 90s called Los Muertos, which is kind of the knockoff of Los Lobos. So I adopted a lot of that with our first manifestation of Los Muertos. My father played accordion for us. And we were doing, again, that chicanada, you know, where we, en la mezcla es de todo, you know, todas las influencias, all the influences, all the cultural treasures become a part of who you are as an artist and how you express yourself. So I think he taught me that. So you'll see a lot of that in the set. You'll hear Bob Marley songs. You'll hear, you know, Manu Chao's songs. You'll hear Sly and the Family Stone songs. But they're going to be very Chicano, very tribu. And that's one of the things I learned from Dad, you know. And so to me, keeping that music alive was always something that I did on the side of my acting career. And so this new manifestation, Tribu, is a bunch of heavy hitters and people that I've known for many years, have played with, you know, in other bands, but this time I wanted to bring them together to celebrate the música, los cumbias and you know, the funk and the soul that is part of our Chicano heritage. And every Muertos Fest, I always say this música is about these spirits that are all around us, that are still here with us and still inspiring us to make music, to make art, to make cultura. And I always say la cultura cura. Our culture cures. When we played the last Muerto Fest, we had just lost a dear friend of us, an artist, Jorge Sandoval, who's well known as an artist in San Antonio. So to be able to celebrate him through music on stage at a festival where everybody's listening to you and watching you, I think was the pinnacle of the Muerto Fest celebration. And that to me is really what Dia de los Muertos represents as a celebration, right? You're not just saying, oh, we're sad you're gone. We're not just saying we remember you. We're saying you are here with us right now. And your spirit is inspiring me.
streets among the folks are rope. Illusionary sky of gold. I've been told that we've been sold to a vato who can take us all the way to heaven. So here I am, just crying over milk. What money won't buy, you don't lose sleep over wrapped in silk. So while I'm trying to see my point of view is all I ask. The telegraph line at the end of time. Sharing post the message over the world. Can be a much better place. El mundo, say the world. Said a much better place. El mundo, say the world. A much better place. Listen to me now, say it hard decay. Why do we pray? It's hard to even say. There's a better way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk about the world. Talk about the world. Listen to the word now. Listen to the word now. Talk about the world, yeah, yeah. Try to believe under the sun. The moon she might come to try to show a little someone how to drop a gun. And not say hate, and not say kill. Just live, for all I know is what happened. The dying, the lying, that the never really trying. To say the moderation, talk is cheap, show is pride. And quit satisfying the Buddhas we've got to sight. Who the hell is what and when the wealth gets from? Say the world, be a much better place. Say the world, can say a much better place. Say the world can be a much better place.
Well, what a beautiful night it's been at Muertos Fest 2025. We've seen so much, Ernie. We've seen these altars, the costumes, and my favorite, the procession.
So many favorites for sure. But remember, the actual Dia de los Muertos is November 1st and 2nd. So we hope that we inspired you to honor your loved ones in your own way, whatever that may be, and building an altar at home or making their favorite food. So from all of us here at KSAT 12, Jen Tobias Stresky, Sarah Costa, I'm Ernie Zuniga. Until next time, thanks so much for joining us. Good night.